Hey guys, welcome back to Black Sheep Comics. Today looking at another inquiry into this publication that I have been trying to cut all the magazines from. There's only 3 magazines from this publication that I can find, and I have 2 out of the 3. They have the 2 more sought after ones. The last one in the collection is going to be a Stalin one independently, so that one would be in time. The first one I acquired, which is actually the second one, is Death to Hitler from 1941. This is a low-grade copy. I've been trying to find a copy for the better half of 10 years. Yes, 10 years. I've never seen another copy in 10 years. I paid at the nose for this copy, but at least I have a copy. In the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that much compared to other books, but it's a very interesting cover showing Adolf Hitler being hung with a V for victory on his forehead. This book talks about the escape from Germany that Rudolf Hess took to go to Scotland. He was the deputy Führer under Adolf Hitler, and he fell out of popularity, obviously, because he left him from 1941. This book talks about the hidden photographs that were captured and smuggled out of Germany and the conquered lands and regions. Talks about also how pleasant Adolf Hitler was to his cohorts and his fellow countrymen, if you know what I mean. I can't say that certain word, but Rudolf Hess in this book talks about how Hitler is a very charming, caring, and unique individual when compared to how history sees him. Yeah, granted, he's a fucking murdering psychopath, genocidal maniac, and I am not defending him, but it's interesting to see that the other side of the flip coin, someone who knew him not on the propaganda machine rather than an individual. And it shows in this book that he is just a normal human being to the high-ranking Nazis, and everyone else is this incredibly dark and twisted individual. He deserved everything that came to him. He's an awful human being. And he's one of the few people that, if he did die earlier in the war, I feel like it would have caused more ripples than positivities, if you know what I mean. The one below him after Rudolf Hess left was Hermann Goering, the Reichsmarschall of the Luftwaffe. And he, in all accounts, had the same ideology as Hitler and would have fought to the very end no matter what. So even if Hitler was dead, Goering would have still held on to the belief that the quote-unquote master race had the ability to do whatever the fuck they wanted to. Very interesting book. Very interesting. If you find a copy, I recommend reading it, but yeah, it's interesting. Then theoretically number 1, which is my second one that I just got, took me about 5 years to find, Hitler and Stalin from 1940. This is right in between the invasion of Russia, and this talks about the invasion of Poland and how Hitler and Stalin worked together in conquering Poland. This talks also about how Stalin lost, let's say, 20,000 men, which is an understatement, compared to Hitler's 5,000 men. And Stalin and Hitler hated each other because of their ideologies, fascism and communism, but talks about how working together to get Poland shows the similarities between the two. how they just threw men and machinery into the fire pits of war for an outcome that they both wanted. Also talks about how Hitler had a underlying resentment towards the better half of Poland that was invaded under Russia. And when Operation Barbarossa took place, when he invaded into Russia, that Hitler went on a complete rampage when it came to, well, rampage obviously because of the war, but also because of the Jews left behind by Stalin. And Stalin refused to take the Jews into Russia due to, I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. But this book talks about how they both shared common goals, and the two look really nice next to each other, and I'm quite happy. The last one in the run is a Stalin book, which I gotta find. I've only seen 4 copies on the internet that I could find of this one, and I can't find any other copies of this one, which is going to be probably the hardest one out of the two. This one's probably the more desirable one. And I'm glad that I was able to find one. But I am so glad I had this one. And I thought I would share. So you guys have a good night.